Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Willie. This is my niece Sylvia,
Hi.
and tonight we're going to talk to you a little bit about a situation that has been occurring in our family for a long time now, and we believe that it's time to get the word out to anybody and everybody who will listen. So today we're going to dive right in. Sylvia, can you tell me why we're here tonight, please?
Right. So we want to record this Zoom call in order to document our personal experience with I don't know, should I say names
If you
or
feel
kind of leave them
necessary,
off? Well,
yeah, keep it generic.
I feel like we're probably gonna have to if we go into the past stuff. It's kind of hard not to say names.
Let's just keep it real.
Okay. So where do I start? From the
Um,
beginning?
Okay. Maybe I'll jump in on this
Okay,
one and I'll get us open up. So,
please.
back in 2007, I started going to a church, just to say, keep it real, I guess. Started going to a church called Winter United Methodist Church. During my time there, I attended their youth group. Um, and somewhere along the lines, I ran into and made contact with the individual there or individuals, and they saw the conditions of our house, which was less than favorable in their opinion, um, and they also found out that we were in low income status. So whereas I'm attending youth group, and they say, hey, we would like to help you guys out by building you guys a new house. Um, they got my family involved, of course, because you got to talk to the adults to make stuff like that happen. And we all thought that with being church people, right? They're gonna do the right things by their person who's a member of their church, also in their youth group, but also by their family. Hence, church people, right? Given. So Sylvia here is going to tell us a little bit how this came to happen. Notice we said this originated in a church. She's going to dive into that, and we're going to tell you how this organization came to be. So, you want to take us off?
All right. So 2007, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Miss Suzanne brought you home that day from church, and she
Yes.
saw that it was in disrepair. She did offer at first to put us in another place.
Yes, Saul Street.
No, she wanted to like buy the land and move us into a different, more better housing. She
Ah,
said.
yes, yes, and we
Right.
declined.
And grandma refused, and she was like, "Well, we're not going anywhere because it's my family's land." And so instead, she decided, she'd come up with this nonprofit, and we'd be the first project for them to just rebuild the house on our own land. She said it'd be 40,000. It was actually, hang on, 'cause I got some numbers here for you that don't seem to add up. So where's that promissory? Here we go. I got some letters for you also.
She's pulling the original documents to tell you a little bit about what they were supposed to be, I guess, right, Sylvia?
Right, I have all of my original documents. Okay, so the original promissory note, dated January 14th, 2009, the original principal amount is $39,970.86. My grandma signed, and I also signed for this loan. Uh, so, she started it up. She borrowed money from the city. She came up with a board. She put me on the original board in order to have enough members. And of course, she took me right back off, but that part doesn't matter. Um, so 2008 is when we signed the loan, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Was it
Most definitely, 2008.
2007 or 8 when we met at the church?
I believe it was my ninth grade year, 2007. We met at the church, 2007, 2008. That school year.
For her to
We
tell us about how she
Yes,
was. Okay,
to tell
got
us
it.
about it. We met at the church property, and that's when all this came into play.
Okay.
And it
So
was me,
basically,
you, Grandma, and Kurt.
right. And we all went.
Yes.
See, because Willie had to remind me that we even had that church meeting. I had forgotten, but I did remember when we signed the paperwork at our lawyer's office. So it's good that I got Willie here as support because he was living in the household at the time. He was there from the start. He knows everything that's going on. I've shared some extra stuff with him that's been going on over the years with paperwork to back everything up.
Yes.
So okay, where was I? 2008, we signed the loan for basically $40,000.
Yes, ma'am. And per some of the paperwork, and we're gonna get into some of this later. We agreed to this with the understanding that we would pay back the $40,000. Is that correct?
Right, in 240 payments here. I've got the schedule, the original schedule of 286.36. Is it in this one? It's not in that one. Let me
Yes.
find the schedule. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it here.
All right.
So 240 payments of 286.36 at an annual rate of 6%. Now, according to this schedule, that 286.36, I don't know if you can see that, should pay the principal and the interest. Now, when we went in to sign the document at her lawyer's office, at Ms. Supple's lawyer's office, who is the original creator of this nonprofit,
Yes.
it's her baby. So on the schedule, 240 payments of 286.36. Do you have your calculator out, Willie?
No, ma'am. I can definitely get it out. Give me one quick second,
That's okay.
please.
I got mine here. Hold on.
Okay.
280.36 times 240 is $68,726.40. That's how much she would have received if I had paid on schedule that 286.36 every month for, was it 30 years until 2029?
2029.
Remember that. So when we went into her lawyer's office to sign the paperwork, instead of the 286, she suggested that we pay the 390. And that's
Yes.
what this paper is. I never received a new schedule. I've still got the original schedule, but that's what this paper was. I don't know if you
Yes, that's
read.
better. Yes, ma'am.
Can you read it?
I can. It has Eddie Mae Butner's name on it, our address, lots number. So, Winter Neighborhood
Okay.
Housing Incorporated.
Can you see where it says that 390?
Zoom in a little bit closer. Bring it over to yep, right there. It says the 390. It says the 286.36.
And
And
the rest of it would be escrow for taxes and insurance.
yes, ma'am.
Right. So from 2009 up until 2014, we didn't have any taxes on the
Right.
property because it was under grandma's name. So the taxes are only 10 years old at this point. We're in 2025 now, but they're not due until the end of the year. So I'm counting up until 24, which would make 10 years worth of taxes, which would be about $12,000.
Roughly, yeah.
Right. Okay. So, oh, I'm sorry. I got off point.
Okay.
So $68,726.40 is what 286.36 times 240 is, which is what I should have been paying on this original schedule. It's saying that the total would be $68,728.24, which is already incorrect from the start. And I did not catch that at the time. I was young, naive. Um, I don't speak the double talk. So that I think allowed her to fully take advantage for way too long. So that's the original schedule, and the actual payments that I made starting February of 2009 was the first payment of $390. That was overpaid $645.04 that year. Is that right on your end, Willie?
I don't have that spreadsheet open to be able to pull that, but let me pull
Oh,
up
it's
what
okay.
I
It's
do
okay. I'm
have.
gonna
Give
do
me
the
one
numbers right
second
here.
here.
So, okay.
Okay.
Instead of the 286, I was paying 390, and that by 12 months. I'm sorry, the first year would be 11 months because I started that February. So 11 months is $4,290. That's how much I paid that year to Went Neighborhood Housing. What was due according to the schedule of 286.36 was $3,149.96, which is what I should have been paying every year. But she had me paying the extra for taxes and insurance, and we didn't have any taxes. So there was overpayment for all these years. So we did that from 09 up until 14 because we lost grandma in 13, that January, and then we lost Kurt that December in 23 and 23 in 13. I'm sorry. And so after we buried Kurt, I took some time off from work. I was cleaning the house at that time. I had taken over back in 04 when grandma was retiring. She had actually cleaned Miss Supple's house or her daughter's house for almost 30 years,
Yes, ma'am.
25, 26 years, something like that.
Something like that.
And
It's been a long
which is how we
time.
knew who Miss Supple was, is because we knew her daughter, and she ended up at the same church as Willie, at that time. Just so happened. So, we
Yes,
figured he wanted to help. We needed a new house. $40,000, even at the 60, 67, $68,000, that still would have been fine. But after I took that time off from cleaning the houses, I was cleaning Miss Suzanne's house, Miss Supple's house at that time. And I let her know, when I came back, I was back about 3 weeks and my heart just wasn't in it. I needed to get away. I was going through a lot. Um, I had just buried half my household the year before. Um, I told her I was not going to be cleaning anymore and that I was going away for a little bit. I'd be out of town just to kind of get away. She wanted to know what I was going to do with the house. And I said, well, what do you mean? I'm going to keep the house. And, I left it at that. But a couple days later, she showed up at the door, and it just so happened my mom was here that day. And she had a notebook in her hand, and she goes, I don't think your mom is going to make the payments because I told her, while I was out of town, if the payments come up, my mom will bring it over here to you. I was still bringing them to her house at that time, remember? Because she didn't have a
I
different
do
address.
remember that too. Yes,
Yeah, I was still cleaning her house, so
I
I was
remember
taking
that.
it to her. Right. And I would just leave it under her mat. Um, so she goes, well, I don't think your mom's gonna make payments, and I'm gonna need all your information and all her information. Mind you, she's got all my information. I just signed back in 09. She's got all my information already. I felt very disrespected and harassed by that. It was, yeah. But mama came to the door and she said, she wrote down her name and she wrote down her number, and she's like, well, if you have any issues, you got any questions, give me a call. And we left it at that. But here, those letters, what else is it? I want to get the date
Yes,
right
you have the
because
letters. Yes.
after this, it was I received a letter from the board on March 5th
Yes.
that says, Dear Ms. Buckner, it has come to our attention that you plan to leave the state and your house at 2908 Thomas Street here in Columbus to lease the property. As you know, this was not our intention for you to do when we built the house for you and Eddie Mae. You will also remember that we sold you the house for one half of what it cost us to build the house and also hold the mortgage on the property. There is a clause in the security deed that states if you fail to make the monthly payments on the property, we have the right to foreclose and take the property back. This letter is to notify you in writing in advance of what will happen if the monthly payments are not made. That sounds like a threat to me.
It does.
And it was
It
a lie.
does.
She lied. I
Mhm.
never told her I had any intention on leaving this house. When did I ever have that intention? Or even
Never.
renting out?
Never.
So she lied. Now, after this, I did go on that trip. And
It was just a trip.
I never shot. Yeah, well, I mean, I was only gone 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I was back before the payment was due. So
Right.
I didn't pay it any mind at that time. You know, she just, because she had already come over to the house. So I already, and we knew her before this. So we know who she is. So that was the start of it. After I told her I wasn't cleaning her house no more and I was going on that trip. And she did that. That was the beginning. Since then, she has tried. I lost count of how many times she tried to change my payment. She has gone behind my back multiple times to acquire insurance on my property and then overcharge me for it. She has multiple times tried to make it unaffordable for me to live here. She's
Sorry
trying
about that.
she's trying to force me out. Did it stop recording?
Um, Technical issues on my end, but it's all taken care of now.
Okay. So that was in 14. Now later on that year, I got behind. I was actually looking for a job and I got pretty behind because it was the end of the year. I think it was October, November, and December didn't get paid. And then the beginning of that year, I made a payment that February to try and start catching it up. And she somewhat worked with me on getting it caught up. So, but come January 2015, January 30th here, is the first time she went and got insurance on the house behind my back, didn't tell me anything. And then I said, I got a letter from Don McCullum. That was when, remember I told you I called him
Yes,
and I
I
was
remember.
asking how come I wasn't getting receipts. And he goes, well, you're not supposed to be getting receipts for your mortgage. I don't get receipts for my mortgage. Made no sense, but I got this letter from him. Dear Celia,
That
this
don't
is
make
to inform you that there will be a change in your mortgage payment to Went Neighborhood Housing starting on February 1st, 2015, due to a change in your homeowner's insurance and property tax. At this point, I was already wondering, where's all my overpayments going? Why am I not getting credit for money I've already paid over all these years before Grandma and Kurt was gone? Because remember, we didn't have taxes,
right.
right? And that first year, we paid the insurance ourselves. I'm not sure about the other years. Oh, but okay, this is just 50. So I gave Mr. Donna, Mr. McCullough, you know, I asked him,
I'm still here. I'm pulling something,
yeah.
some documents. I'm sorry.
So it was $1,020.63. That's what I paid to get it caught up. And when was that? That was 15.
I think I actually have a copy of this.
Oh, actually, I paid 1164.40, and that was in May. But I did make a payment that January of 390 in 2015. So it looks like I paid 400 in that December. Okay, I had it here. So October of 2014 and November of 2014. I didn't pay those months. I paid them in December. Gave her 400. That was for October. Because at that time she was saying, remember, she told me the late fee was $10.
Right.
It was due after the 5th. So that's another thing, like, because she came back later on saying that the late fee was 15% and it was due by after the 15th. So what about all those times I paid after the 5th, that extra $10?
Right.
Where my $10 go?
For
Okay.
sure, for sure. And
Right.
so we have a lot of the backstory. You did mention something about the bankruptcies possibly. Can you tell us what's going on with that?
Right. So, okay, 15, they tried to raise it, um, threatening me with the promissory note of the 39,000. 16, is about the late fee, this letter, and them trying to raise my payment again. And this is in November of 16. And they wanted me to pay 482. And if it's late, they wanted me to pay 506.10. I don't know if you can
Yeah,
read that.
the numbers keep changing
Right. That's my point.
drastically.
Numbers keep changing and nobody's telling me where my money went. So
Drastically, yeah.
17. All right, because from 15 to 17, she had me paying 467. Because when I
Yes,
got caught up in 15, she changed my payment and strong armed me and made me believe that I needed to pay more than what I was already paying because she kept trying to change my payment. I think she was really trying to make it unaffordable. She kept claiming the taxes and insurance, taxes and insurance. So I went and got my own insurance. And here it is. This was in March of 19. So this would have been 18 that this happened. And I don't know if she knows about this unless Miss Cindy called her back and let her know. Because I did ask Miss Cindy for a statement on what she was saying on that phone. I walked into my insurance company one day. I was late paying my payment. And the lady that I usually make my payment to, Miss Cindy, she was on the phone. So I went to the other girl across from her and she's taking my payment. So Miss Cindy hangs up and she goes, "Yeah, you're Sylvia Buckner?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, I was just on the phone with Miss Suzanne Supple." And I said, "Okay." And she said, she's talking real bad about you. And I'm like, "Okay, can you tell me what she said?" And she, of course, refused to tell me. I don't want to repeat or say, I did ask her for an official statement of what was said on the phone, and she declined due to policy, she said.
of
I
course.
think she just didn't want to get involved. And whatever Miss Suzanne said to that lady on the phone must have been pretty bad and not only that, right after that is when my insurance company starts harassing me about a tree growing up in my yard. They want me to send pictures of this tree cut down. I get the tree cut down, I send the pictures. I send the pictures twice. I go back to paying my insurance, wasn't, thinking about it. 6 months later, in that February, I got an overpayment check from my insurance company for like $700 something. And I said, I called them and I asked, why am I getting this overpayment check? And she goes, oh, I talked to Miss Cindy because that's who was usually in the office. It's right over there on Lama Road. She says, yeah, you haven't been covered since last July. I'm just now finding out. I've been paying it the whole time, but I'm not covered for the last 6 months. Nobody told me anything. And she goes, oh, yeah, we were trying to get in touch with you. We never received your emails. I found those emails. I sent those emails. I still have them. So I can prove I sent those emails. And I think whatever she said affected their judgment towards me. I feel like that was very biased. And that was wrong on her part. That's a very ugly thing to do to somebody.
It is, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But after she sabotaged my insurance, I got this letter.
More.
Yeah. In March of 19, dear Sylvia, WNH has received notice from State Farm that insurance on your house has canceled due to non-payment by you. WNH has put an insurance policy. She's calling herself WNH now. Has put an insurance policy on the property at 2908 Thomas Street in amount of $865.72. This insurance covers the structure only and does not cover any of your appliances, furniture, or personal items. Due to WNH having to supply the insurance, your mortgage payment will increase from $286.36 to $358.50 and with the March payment. This is March 5th, 2019. So always trying to change my payment. Every year something with this lady. It's been very traumatizing. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Okay.
And just for clarification there, Sylvia, you said the March payment. And what day did you get that letter?
March 5th,
So
2019.
that's already five days after the start of the month.
Right.
Right. For March, right?
Right.
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 Thank you for clarification.
Okay. So this is when I got behind in 19. So I'm going to recap real quick. So from 2009 in February to, what did I say, 2015?
I believe that's where we're at. Yes, ma'am.
I paid $390.
You just read something from March.
Mm-hmm.
March the 5th.
Right. So I paid $390 up until from February of 2009 up until January of 2015. And then I missed that February, March, and April, and I came back in that May and paid her that $1,164.40 to get those 3 months caught up. And then she had me paying $467 a month. And then if I was late, it was $486.50. I'm sorry. So that year she got $4,823 out of me and 40 cents. If I had gone by that schedule of $286.36 that year of 2015, I would have paid out of pocket $34, $36, $32. That's $3,436.32. So the insurance for that year was $915, right? What she said. Well, she says $859 here. Is that it? No, let me go back. I'm sorry. Yeah, she had me paying $486.50 if I was late, and the payments were $467 from June of 2015 up until February of 17. Where is 17? And that's when I was fed up with her trying to change my payment.
Right.
And I sent her a letter and I told her, I'm just gonna go by the schedule at this point, and I'll just pay you the 286.36 every month, and I'll take care of my own insurance and tax. And that's what I did. I went and got my own insurance. That's the insurance that she messed up.
Yeah.
So, oh, where am I? Oh Lord,
I
19.
know. 19 now. Yep.
So paid that 486. So I paid that 286.36 from March of 2017 up until I got behind in 19. Now, in 2019, I got behind in the middle of that year, around that May, June, which I paid in that July. And then July got paid in July. And then August and September got skipped. And I sent those in at the beginning of October. Those are the two payments for August and September of 2019 that she sent back. Right, because June 27th, 2019, she said, Dear Ms. Buckner, you are behind with your mortgage payments for May and June. With late fees, you owe $601.36. Went Neighborhood Housing, Inc. expects payment on or before July 12, 2019. Your July mortgage payment is due July 15, 2019. That was June 27th of 19. And then July 16th. Dear Ms. Buckner, we recently wrote to you telling you of the amount of $601.36 you were behind in your mortgage payment, and that WNH expected payment. That should sound like a pimp, huh? Sorry. Like, good.
Now you just keeping it real.
WNH expected a payment by July 12, 2019. Also, your July payment was due July 15, 2019. You are now behind $859.08. See, because she treated me like a tenant this whole time in my own home, the whole
Right.
time. WNH was informed by State Farm that you had not paid the premium on homeowners insurance. WNH has purchased fire insurance on the property in amount of $697.26. I told you, there's another thing she kept doing is trying to get insurance on the house.
Mm-hmm.
When I got my own, she sabotaged it. So she was fine as long as I was with her friends over at Hanover.
Right.
Yeah, because she could go and change things on my policy. The insurance covers the structure, not any content. Okay. It was further discovered that you also had an outstanding property tax bill from 2017 and 2018. WNH paid this amount of $1,118.20, including penalties and fees. In 2009, the 2019 tax bills are coming out next month, assuming the 2019 property taxes are the same as last year. The amount due will be $1,207.28, which is another thing I couldn't figure out is why my taxes kept changing every year.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
All of the above amounts will be added to your mortgage balance after your last payment, even though she added them on to my payments now.
Right.
This balance was $25,478.84 after the April payment. Your new mortgage balance is $29,000. $29,360.60. As stated in your note, this amount is due on demand. Went Neighborhood Housing Inc. is demanding payment of $29,360.66 from you by July 30th, 2019, or foreclosure proceedings will begin.
Question. You said you got behind a couple of times. Exactly how
That
many?
was
How long?
19. I got behind in the end of 14 going into 15, which I was able to get caught up. And then I got behind in 19.
How many? How was it like 30
Other
days?
than that, those other letters about paying late is probably because I just paid late that month. And she
Yeah,
was,
for sure.
she got to mess with me. So
Just trying to make sure it's not beyond the 120 days, right?
no. I'm
No.
trying to figure out where she's getting these numbers from because
Yeah. Yeah.
right, right. This
Yeah.
was
It's something.
July 16th of 19. So where's that schedule? I got it here. Hang on, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Okay, so July of 19, according to the original schedule, would have a total balance of $25,160.11. She's stating on July 16th of 2019 that my balance is $25,478.84, which is more than what this says. But I've overpaid all these years. So how does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It don't make sense at all.
Right, because what she's saying here, as far as my balance, and then it went up. She said now your
Yeah.
balance is 29 something. It went up.
Okay.
She's going off of this, but she added on to it.
Yep.
Okay. And then she had a lawyer send me the promissory note again because she can't help but keep sending that. Now this was what? Because you see, I don't understand why I was paying that $390 all that time. If she's, afterwards then adding in her own numbers.
Yeah.
Like why would we say I'm gonna pay $390 so it would have that overpay if you're just gonna change it later on?
For sure.
So this is from 19 and it's talking about the taxes, which is why she drove it up to a number that I'm sure she probably can't prove. Okay. So October 6th of 2019. This was when I got behind in 19 and I sent those two payments in for August and September. I sent them at the beginning of October. And she sent them back along with this. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that?
2019. You want to read it to us?
Mm-hmm. October 6, 2019. Dear Ms. Buckner, Went Neighborhood Housing Inc. is returning the money order you sent. As you know, the property at 2908 Thomas Street is in foreclosure proceedings. The only way to prevent the foreclosure is for you to pay all the amount owed on the mortgage and all the expenses WNH Inc. has incurred before November 5th, 2019. If you are unable to do this, you must vacate the premises by November 5th, 2019, or your possessions will be put on the street. Sincerely, Mark McCullum.
Can you repeat that paragraph one more time so we can hear it again?
Mm-hmm. Dear Miss Buckner, Went Neighborhood Housing Inc. is returning the money order you sent. As you know, the property at 2908 Thomas Street is in foreclosure proceedings. I actually didn't know at the time. I found out because a family friend called me and said, "Do you know your house is in the paper to be sold on the courthouse step?" I said, "She was fine."
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, is in foreclosure proceedings. The only way to prevent foreclosure is for you to pay all, in capital ALL, the amount owed on the mortgage, and all, once again capitalized, the expenses WNH Inc. has incurred before November 5th, 2019. If you are unable to do this, you must vacate the premises by November 5th, 2019, or your possessions will be put on the street. I thought this was so illegal by me being 2 months behind on a loan payment. And I
The
couldn't
account
believe
is not even
they let
considered
her get
delinquent
away with
yet.
it. What is it?
It's not even just considered. It's late, but it's not even considered like they can't charge anything off or write mortgage to at least charge off is at 90. Mortgage file for foreclosure. They could do it anytime, but per Muskogee County law, which I'm going to explain to y'all later, you have to wait at least 120 days to do any type of official proceedings on it.
Mhm.
You
So
have to
how did she
wait.
get the paperwork through is my
She
question,
just can't
because
kick you out of your house tomorrow. Don't work like that.
that letter was dated. Sorry.
It's a process. It's a
Yeah,
process.
that letter was dated. Where is it? Just hang in my hand. Now I don't know what it is. Is that it?
All right.
No. It is dated October 6th, in which that was the one she backdated because I didn't get it until already it was in November. It was almost November. It
Hmm.
was the end of October when I got that letter. It was like 2 weeks backdated. Mama can tell you about that because she was here still. And I couldn't find an envelope for it to prove it. But that letter, this letter saying that she foreclosed on my house was backdated by about 2 weeks. I
Wow.
just can't prove it. Yeah. Because I
Mm.
can't find that letter. I think I threw the envelope away. So, okay, where am I? Bankruptcy.
2019 right now. The first letter about the foreclosure, and I
So,
think there's another
after
letter
this,
that comes.
right, after this letter, I didn't know what to do. At this point, I'm about at the end of my rope with this lady. So I get on the phone, I call around, I get directed to a bankruptcy lawyer. Everybody's telling me I need a bankruptcy lawyer to stop her from selling my house on the courthouse steps. And I get connected with this older guy downtown, this older attorney. I figured, he's been around a while. Maybe he knows his stuff. But turns out he was kind of working against me. But he did get me into a bankruptcy and it stopped the proceedings for the momentarily. But he had me paying $627. So I paid that 286 when I told her after she messed up my insurance and then tried to raise it again on me. And I told her I was gonna pay that 286. I started that in, what did I say? 17, spring of 17. So throughout from March of 17, all throughout 18, and up until I got mine in 19 when she sent me that letter and forced me into foreclosure, I paid that 286.36. That was the only time I paid 286.36 this whole time. All these 16 years. was between 2017 and 2019. When she forced me into that bankruptcy, that first lawyer had me paying $627 a month. And that was from October, where we gave him two payments up front of 627, which was over $2,000, $2,004.52 to be exact. Now, up until this point, I paid almost $48,000 out. This isn't 19 as I'm going into this first bankruptcy. And that first bankruptcy lasted from, let's say, November of 2019 up until, let me pull out the 20 folder. It's the thickest one. It's where all the BS happened. So, more insurance that she went and got behind my back.
It's a busy
Try
year.
to overcharge me for it. So I go into the first Chapter 13 case, and I pay $627 from November of 2019 until, oh, and this one she asked for $27,394.03. Together with interest at the rate of $4.47 per day until paid. What the?
Wow.
Now that I didn't see before. Yeah, he was really screwing me.
Wow.
He was screwing her one. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. Okay.
You're good.
So where's that schedule again? Or where I'm supposed to be at versus where she's saying I'm at again? What is this? This is September of 2019. Okay, this is a letter from her lawyers saying how much she was asking for in the first bankruptcy, which was 20. I'll get the number for you in just a second. Oh, I had to pay and do that credit course, and then interest report. So let's say October 2019. All right. October 2019, my principal would have been $27,676.02. And she was saying it was at 27 something then. And which again I asked, where are all my overpayments?
Right.
Where is all my money at this point? It's not adding up. She's going by this original schedule and then adding a few $100s on each one, it looks like. So the first bankruptcy ended the very next year because they kept trying to go up and up until she was finally asking for $30,000 more, which she ended up getting in that second bankruptcy because second bankruptcy started August of 20, and she had me paying $510 a month from August of 20 until most recently in May I received a payout letter from my bankruptcy trustee, my Chapter 13 trustee. He said that I paid $20. That was my payout fee. Get it into his office before the 31st of May. Now I've been this whole time taking my payments up to my lawyer's office. So of course I went and got right away a $20 money order. I called my lawyer's office. Just so happened her regular receptionist was not in there, and there was some other lady in there. She was saying, "Oh yeah, the regular receptionist is not here." I'm trying not to say names. I'm sorry, but this is the one I was telling you kept going, "Oh, I can't help you. I don't know what to do,"
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
she kept
remember that one.
Miss Linda.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Miss Linda supposedly works in the bankruptcy department, I guess, at my lawyer's office. Very unhelpful. Um, she actually refused to send the money order off on time. She told me she would do as much. And then she made up an excuse that they don't send the payments in because where have
Yeah,
I been taking my payments all this time?
right.
She, when I called, or the regular receptionist finally calls me back after I've left multiple messages because I went in that day. I took the $20 money order up there, and the lady that was behind the desk, she did take a copy of the payout letter, my name and number, and the $20 money order to be sent out. This was the 27th of May because I had just gotten a letter from the trustee, which that's crazy because they only gave me a couple of days.
Right.
Yeah, nothing about that. Okay. Well, anyways, so I'm trying to ask because my taxes, the property taxes were behind uh about $5,000,
I
four
believe
thousand.
that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5,000.
Right. And well, since I've been in bankruptcy. So the beginning of this year now, she did go and try to get insurance behind my back again. I called my lawyer, my bankruptcy attorney, and I asked her, what can I do to stop this lady in her harassment? And, how is she allowed to keep doing this? And she goes, well, your best move is just go get your own insurance. So I did that. I got my own insurance and I said, her next step is to go after me through them taxes. And I'll be doggone. She
That's
went and
what
paid
that
the
is.
taxes. Uh-huh. And then she went into the trustee's office and then she asked for an exorbitant amount. And I know this because I called to the trustee's office when I couldn't get any help at my lawyer's office. That lady was hanging up in my face. She wouldn't answer the phone and talk to me. She didn't want to answer any of my questions. I called the trustee's office. I talked to Miss Kristen, I believe her name is. And she was telling me, she said, yeah, we're just waiting on your money order to process, to get here so we can process it. And she did go in and pay the taxes, and she came in and asked that girl's words. So
Can you repeat that? It kind of went out a little bit, please.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you repeat that last sentence she said about her going in and asking for a what?
An exorbitant amount. I'll never
Yeah.
forget that word because I was like, what is
Oh,
an,
well,
how much is the exorbitant amount? 'Cause she couldn't tell me,
yeah.
but she did say, try and get in contact with your lawyer. Just trying to keep calling up there. So I'm calling up there. The receptionist finally calls me back. The usual receptionist that, she's always very helpful. So, and she knows what's going on around there. So, um, I tell her, what's going on and I can't get any help. And I call the trustee office. This, what's happening is this lady gonna come after me for these taxes after this bankruptcy is closed out. Cause let her tell it, I still owe $12,000 back in December of 24.
Yeah.
That's, let me see. Matter of fact, I got those too. Where's those tickets that she sends me every year now since I complain about not having any receipts? She sends me, where they at? Yeah, so these are really, really stand out as they look like wrong numbers because she'll say that I owe one thing and it'll be something totally different. And it just looks like she's going off this original schedule. What do I do with those things? Okay, that's from the text. So I've got those two. These are all the original documents. Uh, will, death certificate, um, the original promissory note, um, and then of course all the information from when they were building the house and they moved us up on Shaw Street. So I've got all that. I've got all the
He has
zoning.
everything.
Yeah, the builder's information, uh, promissory note. Yeah. Where did those things go? I got them here somewhere. Hang on. Maybe with the letter. You know those little tickets I was showing you. The
Oh yes, I can pull that up if you need me to.
that's what I'm looking for.
Tickets from the RS. Aha! Yes,
The
yes,
little form that she sent me every year now after I
yes,
complained that you know, about
yes.
not
Oh,
originating. Yeah.
well, mine only go up to 2018. I'm sorry.
Right.
I have
That's
to
when
get.
she started singing.
Yeah, yeah. 18, I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Let's see if I have any more in here. Help.
Got him here. Hang on.
All right, you're good. Yeah.
This is all the recent stuff. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for. Come on.
Well, that's what we was needing the whole time. The EIN number right here on the paperwork.
Yeah, I got we did look up some information on them. Maybe Willie, you want to tell them about something about what we found online
Um,
while I sign this paperwork.
sure. Sure, that's fine. I guess we could jump into that on the very end. We could kind of keep it on course. I do have some documents that I would like to share. You want me to jump into that while you look for what you're looking for?
Yeah, go ahead, because I gotta find these papers. It's here somewhere.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, y'all. And we can go off from there. Okay. All right. Oh, so I guess that I started off with a little statement, just like Sylvia did. You want to go ahead and read that, Sylvia?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Just going to read from the paper. My name is Willie. And again, this is my niece, Sylvia. I'm going to cover some things from my point of view. As I stated, I was going to Winton United Methodist Church in high school. And during my time there, it was discovered that our family was low income and that our house was in less than favorable conditions. So this letter here is written to leave out the names of the people. The identities. But I'm just going to keep on reading. A church member thought it would be a good idea to start an organization to help combat the housing need in our area by assisting low income families and also assisting people in rebuilding their home to more durable conditions who otherwise couldn't have done so. So our family was basically the first project in this matter. You guys can keep reading it if you want to, or the first family that they was helping assist with this. So with dealing with church people, and with it being tied to a church like Winton United Methodist, we thought that they would have the best intentions. However, this is far from the truth, and we quickly came to realize that as we went on, maybe they did have good intentions, but that's not what we received on the back end. This process started in 2008 with the payments, originally in 2007 with the idea. However, it is now 2025. My niece is still paying on a $40,000 loan, and I don't understand why, because she has overpaid most of the years by thousands of dollars into this. I have witnessed her into two bankruptcies, her credit being damaged. Alone from that, I have seen much, I would even go to say much grave pain and suffering. So not just pain and suffering, grave pain and suffering as she has to go through this depression and anxiety, isolation, some self-esteem issues, and definitely a lot of trauma behind this as well. I witnessed the church, and when I mention a church, I do not simply mean the building, as in Wednesday Night Methodist Church. I mean the people. I witnessed the people of a church who are supposed to do the Lord's work, loving all, and advancement of the kingdom of God for the people of God. You know, that phrase, however, that may look for one. Okay. However, that was not done. Long story short, it was not done. My niece and our family was met with short notices, broken promises and contracts, defamation of character, slander, harassment, predatory lending at its finest. I would even say some racial discrimination. And the list goes on and on, considering the amount of time that has passed since 2008 and the incidences that has occurred since then. One takeaway from me today that I want you to note is that you cannot foreclose or boot somebody out of their house without following certain guidelines. It's a procedure that must be followed. The loan must be in default or become delinquent per se. And I posted some information below. Just gonna scroll through that really quickly. Not gonna spend too much time on it, but I'm gonna let you see it. This is something I put off of Google. I also went to the Muskogee County website and put this as well. In Muskogee County, Georgia, as the rest of the state, a mortgage generally needs to be over 120 days delinquent before a lender can officially begin the foreclosure process. So all this notices about you're 2 months behind, we're coming to take your house. Well, there's a process. This 120-day period is part of a federal requirement designed to give homeowners the time to explore options to avoid foreclosure, such as applying for mortgage or assistance with the loan modification. Not 2 months and not less than a week. Given, I'm harping on that. Not 2 months, not less than a week. Okay, y'all. During this time, however, the lender cannot issue the first foreclosure letter or file for foreclosure. Now, these are some important points to remember. Georgia is a non-judicial foreclosure state, meaning that lenders can pursue foreclosure without going to court, right? While foreclosure can technically begin after one missed payment in Georgia, lenders are generally required to wait the 120 days before officially starting the process. If you apply for loss mitigation during the 120-day period, the foreclosure process cannot proceed until your application is reviewed. After the 120-day period, and if the default is not resolved, meaning you don't make your payment and you don't get it current, the lender must send a notice of intent to foreclose at least 30 days prior to scheduling a foreclosure sale. The foreclosure sale must then be publicly advertised in the local newspaper for 4 weeks before it can occur. Notice, Sylvia got a notice. Sylvia,
you said 4 weeks?
I'm sorry.
You said 4 weeks?
4 weeks,
It's
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So this was not followed at all on your
No,
end.
it wasn't in the paper in 4 weeks.
No.
It was more like 2 weeks she gave me.
Pretty much overnight, basically. This is some documents that were sent to Sylvia's house. Now I'm going to open up another page. So give me one quick second, y'all. Okay. And this are some letters. If I can get it pulled up here. And I might just open the same thing. I hope not. I hope when I'm opening, I might just have to go back here.
It's a lot.
I'm trying to open that document for you.
Yeah, she's done so much.
Yeah, you guys are going to be blown away. I'm sorry you guys got to see this. So don't mind my inbox, y'all.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just have to. Sorry, no, you're good. I'm just gotta get this page open. If it were.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we got most of the story so far up until the bankruptcy. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to get the numbers in order because from my calculations, I paid over $80,000 into this $40,000 loan from 16 years old. And she wants me to pay $12,000 more. That put me over $90,000 for a $40,000 loan from a nonprofit. And she's still operating out of that church.
Yeah, it ties back to it. I talked to the pastor when I talked to? Actually, I talked to a lady, the secretary at the main office. I apologize about that correction, y'all. And
I
I was
talked to the
explaining to her a
pastor.
little bit what was going on. She's like, she talked to the pastor, yes. And I talked to the
Yeah,
secretary,
he
and they
called
said,
me back
actually,
after
funny
you called.
story is they're meeting tonight. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time, Willie. I think I
Technologies.
interrupted you. I couldn't understand you.
Oh, oh, you're okay. So I talked to the front desk people, and I was explaining to her a little bit about what was going on, and she was like, "Funny you say that because they're actually having a board meeting here tonight."
Right. I remember you telling me about that.
What a cool.
Right. And so the pastor, he did call me back,
Yeah.
and I let him know what was going on somewhat. I wasn't able to, tell the whole story, but I gave him kind of at least a heads up. I let him know I apologize. I don't want to bring mess to the church there. Um, it's just
Right.
she's operating out of your
Right.
church. She's having monthly meetings there,
Right. We
and
wanted to
she's
do it
out here
first.
taking advantage of people under the disguise of helping them, and she's taking advantage.
It's sad.
Now, is it even legal for a
It's sad.
nonprofit to ask for a mortgage company?
No, it's not.
And personally,
It's
I think
not.
it's
No.
a personal conflict of interest, being that we know her so well. We know her personally, and
I think so too. I think it's a predatory lender.
I feel like it's a personal thing that she's trying to force me out of here. Like she said, she's gonna gentrify our neighborhood. That's what she
Yeah.
said. They were
She's
building the
definitely
house.
trying to do that, all right. She's definitely trying to do that
So
to us.
what we're doing
I
is
don't
trying to
think
stop gentrifying 2908 Thomas Street. And
right because there's a lot of that going on in our neighborhood.
and really just from stopping her from doing this to somebody else, it's been a lot.
Mhm.
It's been a lot.
A lot.
A lot. It's been very stressful. And this lady started attacking me. I never got a chance to recover from burying my family before this lady was on me, putting her foot on my neck and trying to make me lose this house. I'm so blessed to have the support system that I do. And I still have family here
Yes.
because she thought I was by myself and that she would just take it from me. But I've been blessed enough to make them payments so far. I refuse to keep paying her some 90 some $1,000. That's crazy.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy.
I
She
wouldn't
should
pay
have
that.
took that overpayment from this bankruptcy and ran with it because this is crazy.
I wouldn't pay that.
It just seemed greedy at this point. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been look greedy, but it really looks greedy now.
It's
And then
bad.
you call yourself you sitting up here on a charity website
Right.
where they take donations,
Yeah.
but you're doing this to people. And I know it's not just us. I know it's not. And she's
No.
targeting our neighborhood. These are people we grew up with around here. Hateful things people do. All she sees is dollar signs. But this is my home, and I don't have anywhere else to be.
Right.
My
And she's
family is
not
here.
going nowhere. Do not bring it. I do have some of the paperwork here that you talked about with the rent to neighborhood housing.
Yeah, you're welcome to share whatever you feel. I think I'm just whew,
No, you're
take a
okay.
breath for
You're okay.
yeah.
Definitely take a breather. It is a lot to take in for sure.
Well, it's a lot to bring all this back up after all these years, and it's
It
supposed to be
is.
done now, so I could just move
It's
forward.
yes.
So, so we can move forward.
So we all can go for it. Yeah.
But yeah,
but you
you
on
go
the
ahead
front
and
line.
share whatever you got there, Willie, and then we're gonna go over a few numbers, and I think that should
I
pretty
think
much
that should
cover
wrap it up.
everything.
Yeah, I think that should
Right.
wrap it up after that.
All right.
So
You
for
go.
everybody on here that thinks we're just talking out the side of our neck, we ain't. These are some letters that was sent to Sylvia's house. This is some of the things that she has had to deal with
I can.
from Winter Neighborhood Housing. I'm not going to read it. I'm
You
going to
can
be
read.
silent.
I can't read
You
it,
want me to
but
read
you
it?
can read it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to read it. And so here we go. Here's March the 5th,
I'm gonna step
2014.
away for a second while you do that.
Yes, ma'am. You're completely
Okay.
fine. Yes, ma'am. Dear Miss Buckner, it has come to our attention that you plan to leave the state in your house at 2908 Thomas Street here in Columbus and to lease the property. As you know, this was not our intention for you to do so when we built the house for you and Eddie Mae. You will also remember that we sold you the house for one half of what it cost us to build a house and to hold the mortgage on the property. There is a clause in the security deed that states if you fail to make the monthly payments on the property, we have the rights to foreclose and take the property back. Boss, that was never their property in the first place. Our family has been on that land since I believe like 1940 or something like that. Well before I was born, this family was on that land. This is land that they own. So you definitely can't take back something you never had. You maybe could take it, but if it was never yours in the first place, you definitely can't take it back. And that's just my take on that one. This letter is to notify you in writing in advance about what will happen if the monthly payments are not made. That's from the board of directors. Gonna keep going. I did this on my phone, so in case you wondering what's going on there. April the 14th, 2015. This is another letter, and this just blows my mind. Read it. Dear Sylvia, do you understand what is about to happen? Do you understand what is about to happen? Your house is getting ready to go into foreclosure. The property will be advertised in the legal section of a newspaper once a week for 4 weeks in May. And then in June, it will be sold on the courthouse steps. Then you will be required to move out and you will lose all the equity, the amount of principal you have paid over the years into the property. This foreclosure will also list it on your credit for years to come. All of this is happening because you have not paid your mortgage payment since January. You have also not communicated with any of us. You have not. You have been sent letters from myself, Don McCullum, Bill Pound, our attorney, and now I'm sending you another one, Pat Burns, and I personally come to see you, and I left a message with your mother to have you call me. Penny Lamb has tried numerous times to reach you. No one has heard a word from you. We would have tried to work with you if you had only shown some desire and responsibility. Woo. If Eddie Mae knew what was happening, so now she is throwing our she's throwing her the deceased grandmother into this. That is something that yeah, definitely do that. That's great. No, you don't do that. It show some decency and humanity here, y'all. If Eddie Mae knew what was happening, I'm sure she'd be so disappointed. Just all of us are disappointed. Eddie Mae and you, because you were her caregiver and her granddaughter, were given a brand new house that cost us over 80,000 to build for only 40,000. Not only did we give you the house for, listen to the verbiage, y'all. Not only did we give you the house for less than one half of what it cost to build, we also stuck our necks and financed it for you when we realized that no one else would loan you the 40,000. Most people donated money and their time towards building this house for you just to throw it away. It's beyond my understanding. I am sorry this is how things have worked out. All right. And this is another one. So as you can see, this keeps going on and on and on. This is just early on. Sylvia has listed a lot more. So this is just an ongoing thing. Termite warranty. And this one right here. Dear Sylvia, it has come to my attention, oh yeah, May the 29th, 2015. It's come to my attention that you have not continued your termite coverage with GD Exterminating. If you have termite coverage with any other company, this does not apply to you. However, if you do not have a termite warranty on your home, you are living very dangerously. Dangerously. Good grief.
Am I good?
I'm getting there. I'm halfway through this letter, and it's the last one.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Take a break for a second.
I'm gonna come on back. You go ahead.
All right.
You need a break too, huh?
I'm getting there. Reading these papers. Oh yeah. Termites
Okay.
are very bad in Columbus, especially in East Winton. If you remember, I told you in the closing of your home to please keep your termite warranty in effect. I saw a house last week just a couple of streets over from you that was totally eaten up by termites. It is very sad and it happens fairly quickly. I've spoken with Glenn Williams, and basically this last paragraph is stating we'll reinstate the policy, and it talks about the finances in there, who to contact. So lo and behold, this is just an ongoing thing here, and it's sad. It's really, really sad what's going on. You have
So
people that you trust, and this is what they do. And sorry, let me say one more thing. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
go ahead.
I'm a Christian myself, first and foremost. I'm a believer and follower of Jesus Christ, God, right? I don't publicly go out and start preaching the word of God to people, bumping people necks with the Bible. However, I try to live a lifestyle that is pleasing and honoring to my family, my God, and to others around me. That when they look at me, they will see that, oh, that's definitely a disciple of Christ. That's a follower of Christ, right? We're called to be salt and life of this earth.
So proud.
We're supposed to be here in this world. We're not supposed to be of it. So it really disturbs me and it burns my buttons up when we have people that claiming to do the Lord's work and saying that they are follower of Christ and out here doing malice things to people and hurting God's children. This is not what we promote in the Christian faith. And let me tell you, church hurt is real. And Sylvia here, she's a very good woman. And she has experienced a lot of church hurt, but that has not wavered her from her faith in God. Sylvia still believes in God, and she knows that God could turn all things around. Now, outside of that, whatever she chooses to believe, that's on her. But I know many people that would have went through what Sylvia has gone through. They would have turned their backs on God. They would have turned into a sour and just mean person overall. That is not how Sylvia is responding to this situation. And I am very proud of her. I'm very proud of her. Now, me, on the other hand, she is handling this a lot better than I would have handled it. I can tell you that right now. So, Sylvia, I want to give you kudos to how well you're holding this together, because you're doing what I could not have done. So
I appreciate that, Will, but
yes, ma'am.
I don't always feel so strong.
It's an injustice. It's what this organization, what this lady has done, and it's no telling how many other people have been taken advantage of. Here in the Butler family, we don't like going after people. We're not going after nobody. We believe what you put out into this world is what you're going to get back. How you treat people is always going to come back to you tenfold, right? We could go out here, we could slander these people, put them down, talk about their horrible bad people. No, you're not going to get that out of us. But what you are going to get is the facts, the truth, our experience, and hopefully we pray to God that if other people are being taken advantage of, which we know they are, we're going to go and cut to the chase. They are. There's more victims out there. We can stop it. Hopefully this will be the catalyst that breaks the camel back. Exactly. We don't want nobody to.
I've been praying for weeks to keep that anger out of my heart. What I say, I don't want to be like the monsters that I have to fight against.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't hold no hate towards that woman. She did what she did, but I just wanted to stop now.
Yeah.
I just want to move forward.
Yeah.
She's more paid. I've more than paid that debt.
You have more. And we're also firm believers. And if you owe somebody something, you have a debt, you got to pay it, whether it's $1 or $15,000. If you make an agreement to pay something, you need to own up, be a man or woman about it, and do the right thing. However, there's a fine line of paying somebody back what you owe them and being taken advantage of. And in this situation, she has definitely been taken advantage of.
They just keep on and on. It's like never ending. It's like she want to keep me beholden to this $40,000, or she want this land so bad that she willing to do anything to get me out of here. I think that's a personal conflict of interest. It's got to be some kind of illegal what she's doing.
I think it's some predatory lending going on as well. Maybe some predatory lending,
Definitely
definitely low
predatory
credit
lending.
score. The type of area that we live in, maybe even some racial discrimination. I'm not gonna get into the whole
Monetary abuse.
yeah,
Right.
but yeah, it's a
This is the
lot.
habitual overstepping into people's lives. Like I said, she had treated me like a tenant this whole time in my own home. I've been here since before I could remember. I was here when I was a baby with Annie and Beat, you know, and Beat passed on when I was 3 back in 83. And then it was me and Annie here for a long time. So this has always been my home. It's the only home I know. I'll go out of town. I've done my fair share of traveling, and I always come back home because this is where I'm supposed to be. So whatever she got up her sleeve, I need a lawyer that know this stuff and can stop her. Like I don't speak this language. I don't like taking advantage of people. I'm not hateful, vengeful, petty person. I don't want to do any of this out of spite. I just want it to stop. I want to know where my money went. I want to know, how do I still owe you money?
Right,
You know, I
right.
want to know that you're not able to do this to other people,
Yeah.
especially our people from around here, because we grew up with these people. I went to school with these people. These people that own these houses from the very beginning of this neighborhood. We've been here since the 40s. My family has
Yeah.
been the only ones ever lived on this land since this neighborhood started. We grew up knowing all these people. These were all older people that own their homes, good people in this neighborhood. And people come in from the outside and they look at us like low income, low class, or whatever they want to see. But we grew up in a community. We could walk up and down our streets and everybody know everybody
And feel safe while doing it.
and feel safe. Because what I used to say, I could walk down the street at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning going to the store if I wanted to, and I don't
Ain't
have
nobody
nobody
gonna bother you.
bothering me. If they stop and they speak and say, "What you doing out here? You want to ride?" You know.
Right.
So it's good people around here, and people like to make this neighborhood out like it's so bad, but it's really the city. It's the mismanagement. It's the siphoning of the money out of the community
Yeah.
through all this slick double talk, wrapping it up in the courts and all this red tape and paperwork that they know we don't understand.
Right.
And they take advantage of us and they take our homes. A lot of the older ones are passed on now, or, their kids, they moved out of the city because they don't want to be here. The jobs don't pay. It's hard. So
It is.
they lose it in the tax sales. They lose them, they sell them off to these developers, and they moving in and they buying up all this land dirt cheap because they made us look like we so low income.
Actually, the people who you think are
Or,
low income, they have more money than people who you think have money.
well, I mean, we didn't always have money, but we didn't need for nothing either. So I wouldn't say we was poor. It's just
Right.
how they look at it.
Yeah.
And we don't put all that value based on ourselves based upon some material things.
Right. Right. But like you guys have always told me, you're not poor as long as your bills are paid and your
I
house is
know
taken care of.
you got a roof over your head and you're able
Yeah.
to feed yourself and take care of yourself. You wake up and you able and got arms and legs at work.
Yeah.
You blessed.
Yeah, ma'am. Just
Yeah.
one's definition of poorness versus money is different people's perspective on it.
Well, sadly, we live in a society where a lot of the people here, they do base their lives on material possessions, and that's where they put their value. And
Yeah.
if you're rich, you're a high value person, and if you don't have a lot of money, then you're just not.
Yeah.
So,
Depends on how you want to look at that one too.
but like you said, taking advantage of people is never okay, and there's never an excuse for that.
No, ma'am, it's not. And what you have been through, and what I would say Winton neighborhood housing has put the Butler family through, it's unacceptable on so many levels. It really is.
WNHV.
Yeah,
Sound like such a pimp name.
yeah. Like I wasn't gonna do this, but to
No.
shed some light on this, although light should not be shed, but yeah, today is the night of revelation, right? Things are falling out of the caskets per se. We got the pimps, crooks, and scammers, and um, I don't know which one they fall out under, but I definitely feel like we've been scammed.
I think she did a little bit all of that.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate, but
she
that's
definitely
what it is.
did that paperwork.
It happened. She's
Yeah,
not
but these
gonna.
numbers not adding up. So I really need somebody to look at these numbers that know what they're looking at. 'Cause
And
I,
we're tired of being minimized. We're tired of people looking at us like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. No, no more making us feel minimized. You're not going to invalidate our feelings and emotions. You're not going to tell us that we do not know what's going on. You're not going to gaslight us any further. We know what's going on. We're fully alert, and we're tired, and we really need somebody who can assist. Like Sylvia said, there's certain things that we're looking for, and if you have any resources, Sylvia, you want to tell them what we're needing one more time, just so they're on the same page as us.
well, I've been told that we need a civil lawyer who is versed in real estate, and we're going to need to file a cease and desist on her, and possibly a restraining order to stop her from filing foreclosure on me again, for not making these payments come July 1st, which is already passed now because what's today's date?
Today
The
is
6th.
July the 6th.
Yeah, today is July 6th. So 5 days passed now. I'm just hearing from my attorney the day before, so June the 30th. Um, she was pressuring me also, threatening, saying, um, I can't get you your closure letter from the bankruptcy. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? The closure letter?
The closure letter, because they don't think you're going to make the payment.
Right. Because she said, well, I'm not gonna be able to get you your closure letter for your bankruptcy because I don't know whether to tell the trustee if you're gonna make the payments or not. And I said, well, I told you I wasn't gonna make the payments. Somebody needs to tell me where my money went and show me how I still owe her this money. And she went back to, oh, well, I can't change a contract that you signed back in '08 or '09. And I'm like, well, she changed it. I've overpaid this debt and nobody is listening to me. None of them will listen to me and hear me out. They just keep letting her do it. So I need outside help. Nobody in Columbus is going to help me. I believe she's too connected. She retired real estate. She's got connections, yeah, in Columbus, Georgia. And if you know anything about how this place works, it's about who you know, not what you know.
Not what you know, right?
Right. So we're gonna need somebody from outside of this place.
Right.
Everybody I've been to here, they either can't help me or they pretend they're gonna help, and then it's like they're working against me.
Yeah. And also, I do want to throw in there, like she said, the silver lawyer, right? Who has knowledge about real estate. Also, if the lawyer knows anything about working with nonprofits, that's like double icing on the cake.
Correct. We need somebody that also knows nonprofit laws because she's definitely not in non-compliance.
Definitely non-compliance
I
on
looked up.
different things.
I found me and Willie. We were looking up Went Neighborhood Housing to see if we could find any information on the organization as a nonprofit itself online, and we could only find them on this one. What was that first page with that yellow on it?
Yes,
You remember what it was?
I do.
And then there was nothing else, no more information about them.
It was on.
It's
This was
that
one.
Has it got the name on it there?
Guide Star was the first one we found.
Right.
And it was this.
That's how we found the EIN number to look up more information on with neighborhood housing. And today I actually got online and I put it in the search bar again, and a few websites popped up.
Yes. Before you get to that, what's newer, this is one more thing that we found as well. This was also on the internet as well from Winton Neighborhood Housing. You can see those numbers there are not very friendly numbers. Look at the deficit of the company.
Oh, that's where it said that negative, where she claimed negative revenue. Right.
Yes, ma'am. The total revenue is negative $50,097.
And that page is from what year? That's from this year, right? Or last year?
I
got the one from this year.
I think the copyright on this is on the last page, probably. Copyright 2025.
Mm-hmm. See, all this stuff that I'm finding on the internet today is new. These are new websites where they're on. I'm gonna pull it back up.
Do you want me to give you computer access so you can share your screen, Sylvia?
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna pull it up so I can tell you what the sites were. Let me come out.
Okay.
Later. All right. So first, I came across the nonprofit light page, and it's pretty much that same thing, claiming that negative 50. It's got the same numbers on it and the same information. The supposed mission statement for Winton Neighborhood Housing, and then the executives listing on filing. Yes. In which it looks like the total salary, nobody gets paid, but Miss Supple, who is, she made herself, she promoted herself. She used to be the treasurer, but now it looks like she's ex officio executive secretary, but she's basically went neighborhood housing. It's her baby. She's got everybody else on the board just for names. She pretty much makes most of the decisions. She does most of the communicating. She only puts letters in other people's names just to make it look like it's not all her. So she's hiding behind this nonprofit organization while she's taking advantage of people. I say again, this has got to be illegal, but nobody will listen to me.
Yeah.
So other than the Guide Star and then this nonprofit light, I also found a charity navigator page called Charity? Hang on.
Charity Navigator. I'm gonna pull it up too while you talking, if that's okay.
Okay, that's right. Charity Navigator. And you can look them up on there also, where they're an accredited charity. Let's see. Trying to get back to the page where I got it pulled up.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, so on the Charity Navigator page, Winton Neighborhood Housing Inc., they have a donation button. They have their information here. They have a 3-star charity rate and a charity score of 83%. Are you seeing the page? Okay.
So as you can see here, everything she's saying.
Right. So
yes,
everything that they filed for as a nonprofit would be accessible from this page. Is that what it is?
I'm not too sure about it.
Want to go in and donate to them, then that's where you would go to this page to do that. Also,
Yeah.
I also found with neighborhood housing on Bizopedia. I don't know if you want to pull that up, Willie.
Yeah, how you
It's
spell that?
BIZAPEDIA.
Think I got it here.
And on this particular page, you can write a review. So I think I'm going to do that. Now, I think I failed to mention about the complaints also. I have filed a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I filed a complaint with the HUD Investigative Division. I also filed a complaint with the FTC, and I filed a complaint with the NAACP because I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to turn. I don't know what my next step is. I really just need help. And I feel like the best way is to just get our story out there, and hopefully the right person will hear that can and is willing to help, that is able and willing to help us
Yes, ma'am.
stop this lady from taking our home. Like, because you can't imagine how hard it is to go through all these years with somebody breathe down your neck going, I'm gonna take your house. It's traumatizing, to say the least.
Very.
So I'm gonna also report her to the IRS and the Better Business Bureau. And then I'm gonna go back and write a little review on here and just to warn people because, you know, hopefully she hadn't done this to too many other people. Hopefully we can just stop her before
I
she
hope
gets.
not. I
Yeah.
hope not. Oh, I do. Did you mention the NAACP as well?
I did. Those are the four. It was the CFPB, the FTC, the NAACP, and then the HUD division.
HUD, yes, yes.
Right. And I still gotta go and write a complaint for the IRS and then for the Better Business Bureau. But in the
BBB.
meantime, we still need an attorney to do this cease and desist because, you know, like I said, I went to the courts and they won't even speak to me without a lawyer.
Right.
Yeah, the lady's like, you really can't come in here and just talk to anybody without a lawyer present. And I said, well, you know, what about, say, a restraining order? Oh, we don't do that here. I mean,
Um,
Eden was on the phone, so she can tell you that day what
yeah,
happened.
yeah. I
Yeah,
totally believe you. I know how Muskogee County is, but that's inaccurate information. You go to the courthouse to see the county clerk to get a restraining order.
that's what I thought. But like I said, nobody will help me
Muskogee
here.
County. Yeah.
Right.
That's
And this,
Muskogee County. That's one reason why I don't live there anymore in Muskogee County.
yeah. Well, you know, Columbus has been getting investigated also for the
Yeah.
last few years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
a lot of crookedness going on here. Hopefully we can at least get rid of one of these monsters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to call her a monster. Um,
Your
she,
feelings are valid though. You know,
her,
as much as I want to be nice in this situation, respectfulness and niceness, like you told me, they don't have to necessarily go together. You know what I mean? You can respect the individual to a certain extent, but the niceness and kindness, sometimes it don't get you
you
nowhere. And
be
I learned that from
respectable
you.
and still a kind person.
Yeah.
You can be respectable and still a
I
kind
wasn't
person. You
thinking
can
about,
say it nice and say what
yeah,
you mean.
yeah,
Just,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. But she wasn't
look
thinking
at
about
this.
you
I heard this song,
when
huh?
when she put you through this.
She did. She did what she did, and for a long time, I was very, very angry, and I didn't want to feel like that. I don't want to hate nobody. I don't want to feel no type of way about nobody. I enjoy minding my business and worry about myself. I enjoy spending time with my family and just at home and not bothering nobody. Do I not? I don't even go around people if I don't have to. But it's
Right.
because of all the traumatizing situations I found myself in since I just everybody, oh, she's by herself. Let me take advantage of her.
I have a person here who has also been sitting with us for the last couple of hours on our webinar here. Is it okay if I bring her on the air so she could tell you a little bit about Sylvia and the things that she have noticed as well? She's probably looking at me like, oh, come on, Megan, just introduce yourself here. That you know Sylvia. Okay, so my fiance name here is Megan. She is too shy to go on the camera here, but she knows what a great person Sylvia is, and that Sylvia is one of the most loving people that you'll ever meet. Isn't that right, Megan?
Yeah.
She can definitely say that. So Megan's a little bit camera shy. I'm sorry I tried to get on camera, but she knows
Hey, let's
Sylvia.
get on camera. Come on.
and
Know how bad my nerves are right now, right?
you can tell we're all kind of nervous about this, but like Sylvia said, we don't mean no harm. I don't
It's
mean no
something
harm.
else.
She don't mean no harm. We just want people to stop getting hurt.
Right.
Yeah. Right, Megan?
Yeah.
We want people to stop getting hurt.
Like, this has been happening to her for way too long, and this lady seems to be just getting away with it.
Right.
So, you heard it from a person who is not tied up into the mess of Winter neighborhood housing. So you heard it from an outsider standpoint. But Megan's not really an outsider. She's a part of our family.
I was like, I'm not an outsider.
Well, outside of Winter neighborhood housing,
Yeah.
you wasn't involved in that little situation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I'm now a part of this family.
So you've been a part of this family since 2017, girl.
Ain't going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere, and we ain't either. But one thing about the Buckner family is we stand together, united.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's left of us? We gotta be strong together.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's not many of us left.
No, it's not.
But we here.
We're
And
here.
we can do something about this. We just gotta figure out what to do. So we're
You
gonna
can
continue
help.
to do research. All those letters and all this paperwork, I've got folders and folders of stuff to load into a digital file for
She does.
easier access. We've got a spreadsheet going to show my overpays
Yeah.
for each year, what was due, what was actually paid.
Yeah.
That way you can see the numbers. Like I said, I've more than paid this debt back. And I
Right.
don't see what she keeps, or I do see why, but who knows why she keeps asking for more and more and more and more money. Every time I think I'm done with this lady, here she comes with something else.
Something else. Yeah.
Yeah. And you see every year with something, like nearly every year after Grandma and Kirkland. It was fine up until then. And then it just went to mess after that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she thought she had me by myself.
She
And
thought that she got one, basically. It's not the
Exactly.
case.
Because her plan all along was to get her hands on this land. And she showed her true colors. And I wish I had never let her anywhere near us. If I had known then what I know now, I could have saved us a lot of headaches and we could have just kept our old house. We'd have a new one by now with all the money she siphoned out of me.
But it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And
there's no shoulda, woulda, coulda, because, we have to do what we can moving forward from here.
yeah.
So this is where we're at. We're being threatened with foreclosure once again. And still have yet to tell me where all my overpayments went, and still have yet to show me how I still owe you $12,000. I really, really just need a lawyer right now. That's the first step.
We need you to, if you guys feel compelled to, like I said, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. Um, and we got friends and family in many, many different places. But the most important thing that you guys can help out is right now, you can hit that share button and share this with the people that you know, your friends, your family. Because I promise you, you may not know 50 people, but I promise you, between you and the people that you know and the people that they know and the people that they know, you got 50, 100, maybe 150, and you keep going from there. Man, you may not know a lawyer, but my friend Eden knows a lawyer. And then the people that Eden knows, they know people higher up. And I mean, I may not know a district attorney, but Celia may know a district attorney or a friend that knows a district attorney. So we got a web of people. So we just need you guys. If you guys can't do nothing else for us, hit that share button, send up some prayers, because we gotta get this out to the rest of the world. If nothing else, we gotta stop this from happening.
Also, we've told the people at our church about it so they could know.
Yes, ma'am. Our family at Ridgedale Baptist Church, they're also praying for you, Sylvia. That they're praying for us, our family, and that praying, revelation. We got some intercessory prayers going on. So, I mean, I think prayer is a big, big part of this.
Oh, yeah. Every little bit helps.
Yes, ma'am. We're not asking for money. We're not asking for any of that. We're just asking for help getting the word out, praying this comes to an end. You know what I mean? This nightmare, right, Sylvia?
Hey, just let it go, lady.
We're
No,
not
but
asking.
just to end it and to make sure she can't do this to somebody else. That's important too. I don't want nobody else to have to go through that.
Whatever that might look like.
It's a lot. You see all this.
Yeah. It's
It's a lot.
I can see it.
I know you can't see where you at right here.
It's
See all that white up in there?
Oh yeah. They done did a number on her. Can't you guys?
Oh yeah.
So help
I
her.
have been over here aging like the president with stress of trying to just keep it out of her hands.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can be done with this and I can start,
living life and living it to the fullest.
Yeah. Or who it really belongs to, because it don't belong to me for her to take it from me. This land belongs to our children. This is our family's land. It's not just my house. It's not just my land. I'm just here to keep it.
It's the whole family's.
Right. So we will always have somewhere to go. We grew up, we never lacked for a home. We never lacked for somewhere to lay our head, maybe by choice, for some of us that got out there, but we never lacked or needed for nothing. Grandma made sure of that. So least we can do is put up a fight to keep what's ours and show her, you ain't built no weak kids.
Right, exactly. That's right. Grandma and everybody else is looking down on us, and it's like, all right, y'all, school's out. This is testing time.
I put some action behind that learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's about it. We pretty much covered a whole timeline.
I think we did good. I think we did good. Real good. We probably overshare it, but we like to get all the information out there so you have a clear picture of what is going on. It's better to overshare than to have to
have it and not need it.
Yes.
And to have too many questions go unanswered. I want to give y'all a full story of our experience because it has been so horrible. And and it just at this point it wasn't even worth it to deal with this lady. It wasn't worth it to go into any kind of dealings with her. I feel like we signed a deal with the devil. That's what it feels like.
Yes. Hey, and we still showed up tonight. I tell you, Satan was working real hard to keep us off this Zoom meeting today. We had technical issues out the high Zoom, computer shutting down, sound not working, everything. But hey, God is good. God is still on the throne. Yes, ma'am.
But we got through it. We got through it.
Yes,
Just gotta keep at it. If at first you don't succeed,
you keep trying.
Try it again.
Put your faith in God. Yes, ma'am.
I think we good. You want to send us out, Willie, on a prayer?
Sure. Why not?
That reach the ears it need to reach, and touch the hearts it need to touch, and keep us strong.
Amen. I think you just said the prayer.
I just did it, huh?
Yes,
No,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
no. That is your thing. You go right on ahead. Send us out for the night.
All right, fair enough. Hey, Father, thank you for this time, Lord, that we've got to spend together here, Lord. I wish they was on better circumstances, Lord, but we all know that you never give us too much more than we can handle. Sometimes it may feel like, oh my, I'm breaking down. I can't do it no more, God. But you put us through these trials and these temptations, Lord, to get us to where we need to be, Lord. You put us in the right place at the right time, just like Pastor Dutt was talking about today, for the right scenarios, Lord. I pray that the outcome of this Zoom meeting today here, Lord, that this message will reach everybody or anybody that it needs to reach, specifically the people that might be able to offer help, even those, that may not know how to help, Lord. I pray that they would feel so compelled to hit that share button and pass the word along, God. I also pray that, Lord, that whoever this does reach on the other side, we may be able to help, because consistency, sincerity in our voice, Lord, that they would just know, Lord, that we're not out as a malice attempts to try to get somebody, Lord, or to run somebody's life, Lord. We're trying to do just the opposite, Lord, so they will not experience what we have experienced here, Lord. And Sylvia here, Lord, she has been on the front lines fighting this battle, Lord, that they would not experience what she has experienced, Lord. The harassment, the torment, the depression, the pain, the suffering, Lord. I pray that this would come to an end for her, Lord, and this will all stop, Lord, and that everything will start to move in a direction where Sylvia can live life and live it abundantly, Lord, and that she would be able to live out her days on here on the earth, Lord, and not have to worry about somebody coming after her family land on her house, Lord, and somebody show up on her doorstep harassing her, Lord. Lord, you have the power to turn this around, God. You have the power to end this whole process right here, right now, God. I'm going to claim it, Lord, Father, that you're going to do this for us. You're going to take this video, Lord. You're going to push it out, Lord. Everything is going to work out for the goodness, for the people of God, Lord, for the kingdom of God, Lord. I pray these things in Jesus' mighty name. I pray. Amen. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Man,
I'm sorry, y'all. I get pretty passionate with my
it's all right.
prayers.
You do your thing. It's what you do, and you do it well.
Well, it's all for the glory of God. I mean, I wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for God. Trust me, we've been through some
Oh,
stuff.
that's right. We know that's right. I'm so proud of you, Willie. And thank you for helping me do this.
We're the Buckner family.
Appreciate it.
We got to stick together. We got to,
We
and
got
that's
to.
a message to all families out here. Your family, that your responsibility is your family. Ohana means family. Ohana means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. There's the Stitch movie that just came out. I
I
know
was
it
gonna
sounds
say, okay, Lilo and Stitch.
so cliche, but it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah. All right. We signing off then.
We're gonna
We
get out
thank
of
y'all
y'all's
for
hair.
your time, and we appreciate you sticking in there
Thank,
this far with us.
thank you.
And hopefully we can get the help that we need.
Yes.
All
Thank you,
right.
everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sylvia. Good
Thank
night,
you,
y'all.
Willie.
Welcome. Good night.